Hello, Internet. Welcome back to our Refugee Center playthrough. In the last couple of episodes, we got a forge up and running, which is good news. It's the most productive we've been in quite a while playing. I am having some issues with my mic location today, so hopefully I sound okay. Trying to figure that out, but hopefully is a non-issue. And we're going to continue probably making forge tools for the time being. I know we need an anvil. That's really all I remember. Let's eat and drink. Click because it's not registering my keys. There we go. And let's eat and drink. Why don't we cook something? We have all these eggs that are just going to continually go bad. We are basically out of, what am I wielding? The home record, great. We are basically out of wood, so let's go ahead and gather ourselves some wood. And we'll just haul all of this stuff to our unsorted pile and leave it at that, and then we will sort, which should move all the wood to our firewood pile. Is that correct? It did. So that will hold us for a time. Also, let's get this wood ash. Man, somebody's banging all around my house right now. Let's get this wood ash moved. Must be my brother. Everyone else is out of the house. Just put some splintered wood in there. And we'll dump this ash outside. I know some people say it's important. I think it's for making soap. Using wood ash to make soap, or do you use wood ash to make lye, I guess, which then you would use to make soap? I don't know how robust that kind of stuff is in Cataclysm. I rarely ever do that. So, start a fire, make some eggs. I don't think we have... Oh, the eggs have gone. The eggs have turned. That's not good. Okay. I should have looked at that before I started to craft. Let's grab this rotten stuff, get it out of our base so that we don't have stinky rotten food right next to where we live. And let's check eggs again, and then we'll look for just rotten in general. Yeah, we are completely out of eggs, so that's unfortunate. We wasted a charge of our fire starter there. Let's look for anything else that's rotten. No results. That is good. Check our beverage pile. Rot. No results. I'm a little surprised by that. I would have thought there would be something. Okay, well, what else can we make? We started a fire. Let's use this fire for light. Okay, these are mostly beverages. Let's go look for... We could still make meat sandwiches out of pickled fish and cornbread. That would have a lot of calories. Cornbread has a fair number of calories compared to regular bread, I think. Let's look at pasta. We have all those extra noodles. Mac and cheese. Well, we're lactose intolerant, so that's not good. We can just make boiled noodles. Man, have you ever eaten plain boiled noodles? It's pretty terrible, but it would have a decent number of calories. Probably. I don't know which are more calorie dense of these noodles. It doesn't really matter. Let's just use the fast noodles, which I'm assuming is ramen, essentially. We are in the smoke, unfortunately. Pretty decent calorie count on them. That will tide us over for the time being. Have ourselves a drink. Go ahead and have another beer. Drinking a lot of beer in this playthrough. I usually don't, but that's not a big deal. Clean water. We have no clean water. Let's go ahead and make a batch of clean water. Didn't we do this in the last episode because it took a surprisingly long time? Like, yeah, an hour and 1 minute. Okay. It's fine. I thought we did this, though, because I remember it taking a long time. Pour in the container. Gallon jug will do. And that should hopefully be on this tile. Drink some hot water. Yeah, I even remember commenting on drinking hot water. Did I forget to save? That'd be pretty terrible. If I did not save. Go and put the fire. No! I pressed the wrong button and we stepped into the fire. You're on fire. Wait in place to attempt to put out the fire. Waiting in place on the stove seems like a terrible decision. So let's step out of the fire. You attempt to put out the fire on you. I've not really been on fire in a long time. You attempt to put out the fire. Yeah, we no longer appear to be on fire. We nearly burned our legs off, and we did destroy our hard leg guards, which means we have nothing on our legs anymore. It also appears to have destroyed... No, we were not wearing the duster, so the duster is still intact. What do we got? Burnt pair of boots. Did that change anything about them? It may have changed their protection, but it's still quite good. Oh, one little misclick. I meant to hit E and examine the fire to extinguish it, and instead I pushed the button to step into it, and then confirmed it, thinking it was a confirmation for extinguishing the fire. So that's I can't even remember the last time something like that happened. Let's check our drug pile for any strong painkillers. Do we have... We don't have codeine. We really don't have any strong painkillers. That's pretty bad. What does fast-acting sedative do exactly? That'd probably make you sleepy, right? Powerful sedative effect may cause dissociation. Okay, and a loss of memory. Is that disassociation? Is that how you spell that? I don't think I've ever seen that word written down before. Dangerously addictive, and withdrawal from regular use should be gradual. It doesn't really tell you. I guess it's like the Ambien replacement. So I don't think that's going to do anything to us. Relaxing our muscles, so I'm thinking of it like a muscle relaxer. When I hear sedative, that's what my brain goes to. So I don't think that actually helps us. We do have codeine, so we're going to take 2 codeine. And we already took a beer. We're in unmanageable pain. Yeah, shockingly, being on fire is very painful. So, okay. Man, that's pretty terrible that I stepped into the fire. Okay, that's quite a way to start the episode. Unmanageable pain. We're not going to be very productive in crafting or anything while we're in horrible anguish. So, yeah, what do we do here? We're probably not going to get tired for a while. I think we got up in the afternoon. We could go steal some frames for making our anvil. Would be my plan, I guess. Our focus is quite high as well, which also makes me think we just woke up. So, pretty terrible. Pretty terrible start. All right. Well, not really anything I can do about that at the moment. Okay. Just having a look at our guns here. I saw the 357 in our inventory. All right, well, let's go get... We're going to need a flashlight. We should have a bajillion of them. With all these disposable batteries we don't really care about anyway. The charcoal kiln is firing, is making us charcoal. Let's go gather some frames. Are you regular frames or light frames? You are regular frames. Unfortunately, because it's a small car, there's a lot of stuff stacked on each tile, which means we have to remove quite a lot to get access to the frames, but we can do this. There shouldn't be anything really in the area that's going to come over to us. If it does, we will just murder it. Let's get rid of that muffler and hatch and frame. Okay, so that's 2 frames, yes. And we'll go ahead and do the same for the other hatch and frame. So the hatch also gives us the frame when we uninstall it, and I believe we need 4 to make the anvil. So that should probably do it for the time being. Let's turn off that flashlight. Haul these things back to our base. So we'll use those to make an anvil once the sunlight comes up. I did pick up a corpse here by accident. I don't really want a corpse. Do I have a filter? Is that why it's not showing anything? I do. Get that corpse, that rotten corpse out of there. In fact, let's haul this rotten crap a little further from the house so we don't have to smell it while we're working at our forge. Our pain has gone completely away. That would be a product of our codeine. All right, let's just gather more frames. We're going to need a lot more metal for doing our forge work anyway. Let's avoid this car. Let's pick this one because it's a little bigger and we can get some easily accessed frames. We did use a lot of our battery charge just from working on the car, but again, it's a disposable battery, so we don't care that much. Anyway, what should we talk about? Well, I had my psych meeting that I had been dreading. That went... Removing this would split the vehicle. Why? Oh, I didn't... Okay, it would cut this frame off, which we don't want to do. Which we can't do because we removed these 2 parts. Okay, find a different one. Yeah, remove that. I had my psych appointment. It was okay. It didn't go super well, but it's also, was not catastrophic or anything like that. So, managed to get that out of the way. Still feeling not great about that whole situation. Had some hard stuff to talk about. Oh, and then that same day we had our flashlight is dying, which is fine. Oh, and the sun came up around that same time. So let's grab this final frame, and I assume our flashlight died. It did. Let's haul this metal back to base. Yeah, and then that same day we had a pretty bad situation here in the United States. We're not going to get political. I'm not going to talk about, politics, really. I'm not going to talk about, I don't blame people. I try to be a pretty centrist kind of person, which I know some people get mad about. They're like, how can you be in the middle when, things are so bad? How can you, not take a stand against things? But I just think of it like, I don't think blaming each other accomplishes anything. I think what you should be focused on is can you do to move forward with a situation? How do you make things better? How do you, in this moment, fix some of these problems and try to work together? And so I don't really do the whole let's blame everyone else for things that are happening. I know a lot of the media and a lot of people online like to scream at each other. And whoever screams the loudest is the winner, I guess. I don't know. I don't really do that. But we had so if you don't know, situation in the United States, we are getting weary, by the way. Situation in the United States, just as a broad stroke, we had, how do you load a, do I put it in the forge? I don't think you do. Can't put items there. Okay. So I do have to pick these up manually. How do you load? Okay, just put all of them. That'll do for now. It's fine. So we're going to need to start working on an anvil. So essentially, I should bring a table out here so we have something to work on. We don't really use this table anymore. We can't move stuff. Pull everything off of the table. Okay, grab this. There we go. How we want to go this way. It'll help us to push this out. So essentially we had a situation where a bunch of people stormed basically the heart of our government it was on Wednesday. People have been calling them a lot of different things. To me, they just seemed like people who were attacking my government. So it's hard for me to see them as anything other than like terrorists, basically, because that is like the seat of our government. There were a lot of government officials present who were probably, I would say they were in danger. I don't think that it was peaceful. There was a lot of vandalism. There were, I believe at this point, it's been reported that 4 people were killed. And as far as I know, they were all killed by so one of them was in fact shot by security personnel, and then the other 3, I could not find information. It just said online that they had medical emergencies during the riot or raid or whatever you want to call it, and they died as a result. So not a lot of information on that particular situation at this time. So people were killed. There were people who run my government. They were in danger. And it seemed like many officials were not being as harsh in their condemnation of this as they should have been. So a lot of people are obviously very upset. I personally have been having a little bit of a hard time over the last few weeks, and waking up to find that people were basically raiding like the seat of power in my government. It was very upsetting to me as an American to see people in a way that appeared to be attacking my country, attacking our democracy, attacking our literally attacking my country, and it was very upsetting to watch. I have complicated feelings about the United States in general. There are a lot of things that we do wrong in our country. There are a lot of problems in my country, but at the end of the day, I am, a United States citizen. I am someone who, even if I have problems with our country, I am still, I like living here. I like the freedoms that I enjoy. And when I see people attacking that, it very much upset me. I felt physically sick to see people raiding my capital. And I was very upset by that. I don't know. I don't know how most people feel about it. I saw people online who were angry. I saw people online who were like, people just didn't seem sad. It seemed like everyone was angry. And me sitting at home watching all of this happen, I was like, I was just genuinely extremely sad that things are in this position, that like this is a take that people think is acceptable. This is an action that people think is acceptable. And the way we interact with each other, the way we talk to each other, everyone seems to hate everyone else, and it's not helping us. It's making things so much worse. And it just really depressed me and made me extremely sad to see these things happening. I don't know. It was very upsetting. There are a lot of things I don't like about America. We do, we have serious racism issues in our country. We have sexism. We have transphobia. We have people hate homosexuality. People, firebomb abortion clinics because they disagree with each other. Like, there are things in our country that people are just so radicalized at the moment. It seems like everyone hates everyone else. If you don't agree with you, if they don't agree with you, you're just like, oh, well, screw them. They're not even human beings anymore. And it's just very upsetting to be watching all of this happening. And like, I have opinions, I have takes on political issues, but I never look at other people and think like that they're the enemy. I always just think that, find that middle ground. You can't just dismiss other people because you disagree with them. You can't just attack, government officials because you don't like the results of the election. Like, when did my country become so radical? It's so upsetting to watch this all happen. And then to go on Twitter the next day and see people who are like praising anarchy and people who are, talking about executing these people. And like, there's just so much extremism. There's no middle ground anymore. We shouldn't have talked about this. I don't know. I wanted to talk about it because it was very upsetting to me. And it just seems like something that I wanted to touch on it. I feel like everyone hates each other, and I feel like that's not a solution. Hating each other doesn't serve a purpose. The hatred doesn't do anything for us. We need to think about like solutions. We need to think about how we can work together to bridge the gap. You can't just hate each other. And it's so depressing to watch this stuff happen over and over and over. We have all this domestic terrorism stuff that keeps cropping up. We just had a bombing in Nashville because, from what I've heard, which I haven't followed the story very closely, the guy believed all these conspiracy theories, and he bombed a telecommunications place because he just something about 5G. And it's like, why aren't we trying to educate people? Why aren't we trying to teach empathy and understanding? Why aren't we trying to and instead we just argue and scream at each other on the internet like it's going to do anything. Anyway, shouldn't have brought this up. What time are we at? 20 minutes? Okay, let's get a question because people probably don't want to hear my take on Sorry, when I sat down to record, I was like, I'm going to talk about this because it's a major issue that affected my country over the last week. I want to give some, talking points and let people know where I stand with it. Now I'm realizing that probably wasn't, necessary in any capacity. And people don't really come here for that. It was just really upsetting. I watched everything as it happened. I couldn't walk away from my computer screen. I was watching live news coverage of the event, and it just broke my heart to see, it was representative of my country, America. For all of our faults, we are still a democracy where we have a lot of freedoms that people don't have in other places. We have a lot of protections for our rights that certain countries don't have. we like to think of ourselves as above this kind of stuff. You know, you hear about coups and protests that turn violent and people get killed. You hear about those things from other countries all the time, and people in the United States, we like to think that we're detached from that. We like to think like we are separate. We're not, oh, it would never happen here. But then you see stuff like this and it's like no one's working to fix anything. Everyone hates each other. And that hatred is so poisonous, you know. Let's move on. Let's pick a random question and get something a little lighter. What life skills are rarely taught but extremely useful? Okay, well, this just brings me back to what I was just talking about. I think that empathy is one of the most valuable character traits a human being can have. Empathy, if you're not familiar, is, you can think of it like putting yourself in other people's shoes is a kind of a really basic way of explaining empathy. It's your ability to understand what other people are thinking and feeling, and to kind of put yourself in their perspective so you can better understand where they're coming from and why they think the way they do, why they do the things that they do. So empathy, I think, is one of the most valuable things a person can possess, and it's extremely rare in adults. You don't see empathy. In particularly older people seem to completely lack empathy. We're going to make this chisel. It's like the last thing we need before we can make the spear. We are burning a lot of time doing this stuff, but gotta get it done. Oh, I forgot to bandage and clean my wounds before we went to sleep. We're getting very tired. We have been forging all day. I would not be surprised, if the weariness ticked up to a higher tier. Weariness, we also want to be eating a lot today because we did get a calorie-dense food message, which means we are losing calorie stores. I would not have guessed that we were under-eating, but it looks like we are. In fact, we could go out hunting and look for some animals to kill and eat because meat is extremely calorie-dense. Why don't we do that, I think? And see if we can find an animal in the woods here to kill. I would like to get some meat in us. It would be good to get that extra bit of calories. What is the landscape around us? Pretty much forest all the way through. So let's just roam around until we find, ideally, a rabbit or a dog or something. Or not a rabbit, excuse me. I saw rabbit pop up in the menu. A wolf or some kind of domesticated animal that we could eat. Forests are a little bit scarce with wildlife. We would be looking more for like a farm where we know there are densely packed spawns. And then dogs themselves tend to spawn kind of in field areas like this instead of in the forest itself. But we'll just roam around a bit. It's unlikely. You know what? We have all those chickens back there. Let's go back. We have all these chickens we saw along this road. And even though they don't give a lot of meat, in fact, they give hardly any meat at all, it's still more calorie dense than eating vegetables and things. So we could just gather up a bunch of scraps of meat, I think. We do need to sort of corral the chickens. My guess is if I kill one, they will all run away. So we kind of want to corral some of them north. Where are you, chickens? Arise, chicken. Also, they're laying eggs over there. We could try catching some of the chickens and getting them to be our chickens so that we could move north. Go north, chicken. We don't want to kill it near the other chickens because I don't know if that will make them run away. We could try to tame some of these chickens. We're being rocky right now, chasing a chicken around. Okay, I would love if you were not quite so fast. Okay, stop running. Go ahead and full butcher this chicken. So we could gather them up. That would get us eggs on a regular basis, but I really don't eat eggs in the game so much. So we got 4 scraps of meat. 5 scraps of meat. It's not good, but it's something. And that may be something that we can use to cook other food. So instead of just eating the scraps of meat, we might be able to make like a meat pasta dish or something that would give us even more calories and let us utilize an item that we otherwise would not be cooking. So let's cook these. Oh, you know, I doubt you can use scraps of meat. I bet all those recipes require chunks. Just cook the scraps. It's fine. They cook very quickly. It's only probably 200 calories or so. 250 calories. It's not great, but it's something. And why don't we go out and gather some of their eggs that are laid out there and see what we can get. I think empathy is super important, and we don't really talk about it in America. A lot of times people think of empathy as very feminine. People will act like I've literally had people, like I've talked about, like, yeah, but okay, but what they're thinking, what they're feeling is this. And then people are like, why are you talking about feelings? Is like, are you menstruating? Like, they literally are like, do you have a vagina because you talk about feelings? So there is a very strong lack of empathy in our country, or even in just humanity in general. Very few people are particularly empathetic. We would like to draw these zombies away so they're not near the... What are you? You're Shrieker zombie. We would like to draw them away from the chickens so that they don't end up killing all of them. It does look like they're mostly focused on us. I was going to try to get them caught in the water, but it doesn't look like that's really viable. So we'll just go around the corner and deal with them, ideally one at a time here. But it does say skills. I don't know if empathy is a skill so much as just being emotionally intelligent enough to understand. Oh, you're a bloated zombie. I didn't even notice that. Okay. The undead people sprite for bloateds are just huge round people that are very easily identified at a distance. I still don't know the monsters in Altica super well. We really don't want to get poisoned because it would put us down to 9 on the... Yeah, our stamina is going to be an issue. It would put us down to 9 strength, which would make it very difficult for us to deal with the rest of these zombies. So we're going to pull out our gun and use one of our precious ammunition to blow that guy up. And we'll let the others come. I think we're okay. We should stop running. I just ran more than I should have. And we'll just stand and fight these two. Odds of them breaking our leg is not great. How's our speed? A smidge slow. Okay, let's run and fight as we run. Let me go, bro. Do not grab me. We are going to get very low on stamina. Yeah, and we're taking a lot of hits. You can see, even running, we're almost at walking speed, which is really bad. Which I don't really understand because we're only in minimal pain. It's not like we're in agonizing pain. Why is my speed so low? Because of temperature as well. That doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. My base move cost is 172. But my current speed is 103. I'm only 6% slower. Why would that be 70 higher? That doesn't make any sense. Why is that? My current speed is 103. So if I take a step... So why is it taking me 172 moves to move when my speed is 103? So basically what that means is that if everything was perfect, I would be moving at 103. But I'm moving at 172. But I'm only 6% slower, so why am I 70% slower? I don't understand that. Does this not factor in my encumbrance? Okay, get rid of the stamina. I can't stand that sound. Is it my encumbrance on my legs? Base movement cost +1. Base movement cost +3. Why am I... Oh, why is it 125 now? Why'd that slow... Oh, the lower your stamina, the slower you are. Right. I did know that. That makes sense. Okay. It should probably tell you that. If it's going to tell you everything else, it should probably show that as well. Whatever, we survived. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine. And we did get some eggs, although not very many. Let's just go back. There's no reason for us to be out here. I thought, if we corralled the chickens, we could get a decent amount of meat. Doesn't look like that's really going to happen. So we'll cook these chicken eggs. It's fine. It's something. Alright. Make some eggs. Can you make deluxe eggs with scraps of meat? Is my main question. Actually, we could just do this way. Scrap No. Of. Okay. We can make baked beans. And that's really all we would be able to make. A deluxe sandwich. Uh-huh. Okay. So let's just make some eggs. Fried eggs. No. Actually, what fat would we use? Cooking oil? No. Just make a scrambled egg and a boiled egg to use up all the eggs we just got. And then make a boiled egg. There we used up all of our eggs. Great. So that should be like another 300 calories. 240 calories, whatever, it's fine. Scrambled egg, boiled egg. Have ourselves a drink. Yeah, this episode, I mean, I wanted to talk about it. I thought I could turn it into like a coherent discussion, but the problem is on YouTube, I don't have immediate feedback from my audience, so I'm mostly on my own here when I'm talking about things, and a lot of times I have complicated feelings and struggle to express myself in a reasonable way. It just is really depressing to see everyone hate each other. I think that empathy is undervalued at least in the United States. People treat it like it's a feminine thing to think about feelings and try to understand other people's perspectives. People act like only women can do that, and that's such a ignorant and offensive attitude to take. Especially older men tend to be very dismissive of feelings. Like we talked about in a previous episode, I mentioned that guy I was talking to where I told him, you basically just have to keep loving them and hope that they, like when you have a sibling or a child or whatever on drugs, you just have to, keep loving them, keep being there for them until they make the change, because you can't make them change. And he's an older guy, and he just was completely dismissive of this notion, like, that you're supposed to love someone, like I don't know. People act like, I don't know. This is extremely slow progress, by the way. 5%, it's been like 7 hours. We're at 5%. That doesn't really track. How long is this recipe? 1 day and 1 hours? We just worked for like 6 hours and got 5%. That is not a day and 1 hour. Is this not... So time to complete, that must not factor in your proficiencies. So this must be the time to complete without the proficiency, or with the proficiencies? Because we've been working for hours and we're at 5%. Why would that be? All right, well, I don't know, but we're over time. Sorry again about this episode. I don't know. It just seems like such a big deal and something I wanted to talk about, but sometimes the words just don't come out right and you can't gather your thoughts and things are confusing. I don't know. It was a sad day for the United States, no matter where you fall on the spectrum, no matter which candidate you support, no matter which political party you believe in, no matter what your personal beliefs are. It was a sad day for America. It was a sad day for the United States to have those things go on in a country that is supposed to be one of the, staunch supporters of democracy, and to see us all flailing about making a joke and a mockery of the process. And it's just super depressing, man. Like it hurt me so much to see that. And I don't know if everyone feels that way. I don't know how other, American citizens feel, but like it tore me up inside to see our country on display like that, and to see how divided we are. And anyway, okay, just shut up. Stop talking about it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Hopefully you had a good episode. I'm sorry. I'll be back with more Cataclysm in the near future, though, and we will never talk about this again. So everybody, thanks for watching. Sorry I'm an idiot, and I'll see you next time.